Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Game Testing Unlimited. My name is Wilfred. So Wolcen server is back up, so I go back in and play for an evening. So this is a compilation video on my gameplay, including the time taken to create a game, just to share with you how this game is like. Now that the game server is up and all our progress has been restored, there was some problem with the server. Some of us have been playing the offline version for a while, including myself. I think for me, I had problem with targeting the flying mobs with my range character, but for some, they seems to be alright, especially if you play a little bit of melee as well. But it is what it is. Since the online server is up, I always wanted to play online version just in case I play with friends and so on and so forth. So I'm not that interested playing Wolcen in an offline kind of like a scenario. So it takes around 2 minutes to create a game that is, I don't know, is fast or slow, but compared to other games like Diablo 3 or Path of Exile or Green Dawn, that seems really, really long. But then other games like Dragon Age also take quite a long time to create a game. So I don't know, maybe this game has a pretty intense kind of graphic requirement and so on. So yeah, that's just take a while to create a game. This is recorded in sort of like in real time, and after that I do a little bit of compilation of various kind of things I'm trying. Now the interesting thing about Wolcen, I would say perhaps is more like the different kind of skill set that you use that utilize either the magic or the rage. So by the way, this is the graphic of Wolcen. I know of you are very, very impressed with the graphic, which I do not disagree. I think from an ARPG perspective, it's a rather pretty, consider the fact that it's a very, very small indie team that is doing this game. So yeah, I mean, I do appreciate a little bit of like all these graphics and so on and so forth. This is one of the boss that I found it was rather hard back in the beta time, and I always find that the ability that they use is much faster than I can restore my stamina. So the green dot on the left hand side on top of the hotbar is stamina. With the green dot, I'm able to do a bit of dodging and so on, but without a green dot, I basically just can't dodge. And especially if I'm in the middle of animation, like the arrow, the third button, which is like the rage spender, it is almost impossible to do anything. And some of my power, like the teardrop or whatever it is, which is you call a block of ice from the sky, and the reaction time of that thing is so slow compared to the boss that's so fast, it's almost against impossible to hit anything at all. So yeah, I mean, I'm aware that I could augment the skill in the future to shorten the cast time or the animation, but it's just one of those things that I find a little bit hard to manage when it comes to all this animation that I got stuck in my character. I can't cancel the animation, just abort the whole entire execution of the shooting and just to run away. I couldn't do that. So it's again, it's very sluggish kind of gameplay, which I don't quite enjoy, to be honest. But I can understand that it does make the fight a bit more exciting in a sense. And I mean, I'm still kind of like quite amazed that the boss has all these special powers much faster than the way that you could dodge them, seems to me. So unless you kind of know what's coming and then you do not cast and then you do a walk on the sideway, it's going to be a little bit rough. So I don't know. My suggestion to Wolcen team is, why not make it like when you do a dodge, you just cancel whatever spell that you are supposed to do. At least you get out from danger. That's my point to it. It make the character a little bit more responsive. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can dodge it, sometimes just in the middle of animation again. So it gets really frustrating to play, at least from my perspective. And at the end, I don't really care. I just face tank the whole thing. So I read that some people actually build their character in Wolcen to be really, really strong. It takes forever to kill things, but then again, you don't get killed at all by the boss. You can just eat all this mechanic and so on. So yeah, some like to play it that way. I don't know. I don't really enjoy just face tank per se, but then if you get too annoying, I just want to ignore the mechanic. I don't know, could be one of the options. This is the part whereby there is an NPC that follow me around, and it's rather interesting. I would say with the tank, the whole experience play a little bit differently. And by the way, there's another kind of like a beam. I think in Diablo 3 it's like this integrate kind of thing. It's rather interesting as well. A bit of variation to it. My only problem with this so-called build is that because I'm using a pistol, and it does accumulate rage quite fast, so I can't really do a lot of spell. You can see that I need a purple kind of like thing to do a bit of magic, whatever magic I'm doing, like all this beam and so on. But once I accumulate rage, and I'll need to somehow just dump all the rage, and I'm using one of the like a multi-shot kind of thing. But the problem with that again is just the overall animation just very slow. Sometimes you just you know, I don't know. It's one of those things that the elite move very fast, but it's just that my animation can't keep up with it, or you know, the thing is just too long and so on. So that's how I felt. But yeah, I mean, I do need one power to dump all the rage, which kind of a little bit odd when kind of playing of that. I mean, I think sometimes you can time it pretty well, but sometimes you just can't. Maybe you don't mean to just dodge everything. You can just eat some of the damage. I don't know. That's the gameplay of it. Alright, so now there are some offering shrine whereby you could get a bit of like, you know, choices, but the thing is that I can't. It's funny because you got this pop up on my face, and I have to make decision while all this mob coming after me. It's kind of odd as well. Yeah, it's just one of those bizarre things. I couldn't cancel it as well. So this is one of those things that on the bridge and so on. I thought it was kind of interesting. Trying to freeze the mobs and so on, do a little bit of crowd control, but you know, just I got too much rage. And soon I actually realized that if I were to use a staff, if I use basic power, I could dump all my rage somehow, and just yeah, just I can do my you know, other spell power as well. So the way to do it, I guess, is more like managing what is rage and what's not. So now this is the one. Unfortunately, I was trying to do a turret, and the turret just kind of missed everything. You know, it's a hit and miss kind of thing. Maybe it just pointed one direction, though. You know, which like this one now here doesn't even auto target. I'm so used to Diablo 3 whereby I can put in a sentry, and the sentry can just shoot the target. So either the AI is very dumb, or it requires me to do a little bit of setup. I must be, you know, pointing it to the right direction, I guess. Oh, by the way, you can see a fireball, it forked into two, but it has a reduced damage. So yeah, it's just one of those choices you can do. Like this one, the turret, I don't know, it just keep hitting one direction. I suspect the turret doesn't really target anything at all. It just like, you know, if you point it to one direction, it just shoot that one direction. And consider the fact that everything moves so far, I don't even know how to make the turret useful in a sense. Just one of those very bizarre kind of like you know, thing that choices that we have. So yeah, this boss, man, I don't know why. It just I'm doing such a lousy job on that. I couldn't even dodge anything. It's just so many animation, so many. I'm trying to dodge something and I couldn't, like, you know, trying to hit it and already like target me and so on. So yeah, it's bizarre. And I try to freeze him as well, but I can't. So it's one of those, you can't even crowd control the boss, unlike say Diablo 3 whereby you could actually stun the boss and at least make it like, you know, that. Yeah, I mean, just one of those things. It's just too fast. Like in the middle of animation, what can I do? I couldn't find a gap whereby I can do all the animation right. So yeah, this is the last scene, and it's pretty nice, and it reminds me a little bit of like a Path of Exile, I would say. Some of this outdoor scene. Graphically, man, I mean, this game is really good, but it just the whole sluggishness in kind of animation and all. I know you could do a little bit of like stats to it to make it like cast faster and so on, but it doesn't remove the fact that the bosses, especially if you have more than one of them, you can hardly dodge anything. I mean, it seems to me that the stamina must be having an increase to keep pace with how fast the game is, if they want it to be a fast game. But yeah, it's just one of those very bizarre things that that happens to this game and so on. And there is also some dye as well. You can dye your gear. Maybe at the end games I'll do that. And that was the last I need to take down. And just overall, yeah. I mean, I think there's potential. I don't know. I'm still testing the game. So far, I mean, I don't really have that much fun yet. It's just the whole animation thingy just keep me a bit frustrated, I would say. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time if I do a little bit more on Wolcen. Alright, bye.